Depending on the front of the machine allows you to program right directly at the console here. You can come out here and just stand here and write a program if you so desire. You can also manually manipulate the machine itself. That's the jog mode. There is a button here that says jog right there. You hit that, you're going to get a screen that looks like this. The X, Y, and Z indicates that the machine is in the current home position, and any movement of the machine, I'm going to do the X-axis up top, any movement of the machine will show up on top. And I am moving that with this right here, this dial. And plus and minus is the value of the cutter, which way the cutter is going to move. X, Y, and Z are the axis that you choose to manipulate. And this is the aggressive nature of the movement per the click. You'll feel the little clicks on this dial. It's very positive. So for each one of these little clicks, you're going to move 10th thou, 1 thou, or a 10th. Let's keep this on the X-axis. You're going to see the table move to the left. If you don't want to wear your finger out turning this dial, when you hit the jog button, the table is going to move in the direction of the last movement made by the dial. So I'm going to press the jog button now. There you go. Go back to the dial, move the table in the opposite direction. Just a couple of clicks. Hit the jog button again. And there you go. That is good for rapid positioning, and it's important to know for unlocking the machine. The Z-axis, right here, guys, this is really important. Z-axis, you can leave it on 10. When you turn this dial to the clockwise rotation, the column is going to go up. Okay? Turn it to the counterclockwise position, the column comes down. This is very important for unlocking the machine. I am going to lock the machine for you. I'm not going to show you how it's done because it's kind of hard to do with one hand. But when I get back to you, the column will be locked in a vertical position with a block so it doesn't jump around during transport. And around the back of the machine here, alongside the power panel to the right, these two holes will have long steel bars in them that align with a counterweight that's hanging from that chain right there. Right there. So as the head of the machine goes down, the counterweight comes up. As the head goes up, the counterweight comes down. It's doing an up and over kind of thing. All right, give me a chance to pin this up, lock up the column, and I'll show you how to unlock it. For the sake of this video, let's assume that this machine is in place, relatively level, and under power. If everything went well in transport, this particular column right here, this wooden block, is mildly pinched by the weight of the column, or the knee, or whatever you want to call it. That is pinched against the table, and it is pinched against the casting, not the spindle. So the head is resting on the table right now. The table should be at X0, and there's a Y0 indicator. I'll go over that a little bit later. It is down there. I'll show you that in a little bit. Around the back of the machine, there's going to be two pins, left side of the machine, trapped in between the power panel and the chiller unit. You're going to find these two pins protruding from the side of the machine. They are pretty aggressively locked in there right now, and should not be protruding any further than that or any deeper than that. Okay, these pins are 21 inches long and go through the main counterweight for the spindle. Up top, you'll see the chain that actuates the counterweight. That counterweight hangs from that chain, and it's like a whoop. There's a slop in it right now, but ultimately it'll be straight across here when it's done correctly. This is a two-person job, so grab a hold of somebody and let's get it done. Assuming that the machine is under power, the first thing you need to do is take this big guy right here and throw it to the on position. Nothing is going to move, but you are going to hear all the motors fire up. The fans come on, you'll hear some gentle clicking going on. Let it sit for about 10 seconds or so. And press this little green button right here. If you don't press that button, the notifications on the monitor are going to say some kind of weird, you don't have power, you don't have this. This is what you forgot. Press it, hold it for about 4 seconds. You should hear a click come from somewhere in this area right here. 2, 3, 4. Secondary. One instantly, one delayed. The last thing you want to do is what this is saying right here. Jog to the home position. Do not do that. First thing we want to do is lift the spindle approximately 1/16 of an inch or so. I'm going to hit the jog button right now, and this is the first time that I've unlocked this machine since it was delivered. I had a technician do it when it was delivered. I'm going to hit the jog button, and hopefully the jog position will show up right up top. I'm looking for somewhere around -8.5. So we're going to go for jog, which it doesn't show. That's unfortunate. I'm going to raise the spindle. Z-axis, 10. I'm going to turn this clockwise, okay? Clockwise makes the spindle go up. Turn it clockwise until you can get that piece of wood out. I'm going to put this on a tripod so you can see that happen. Okay, for about the next 30 seconds, I am going to be turning that dial on the console clockwise and looking to let this start to rotate. When it starts to rotate, that should be good enough. It will not come out. It can't tilt this way. It has to push towards the rear and drop and twist and come out. Okay, right now the head is hanging from the ball screw. That's the tall, thin motor back there. Now I'm going to come down with it about 1 inch and try to relieve the pressure from the bars in the back. The bars were installed at 9.5 and the wooden block was installed at 8.5. So I'm going to bring this down to about -900. Let's start at -800. This is where the guy in the back of the machine, as this number increases, as you see a minus number get larger, the head is coming down. The person in the back of the machine should have their hands on those bars and look for them to start to twist. When it starts to twist, stop right there. The other indication that you're getting close is when the chain on the top of the machine, and I'm going to show you that because that is really important. When that chain right there starts to get straight, you are getting closer to being where you want to be, so keep an eye on that too. The guy in the back of the machine should be visually telling you that here it comes. Here it comes. You're looking for the chain between these two sprockets right here to get straight. If you're doing that by yourself, keep an eye on that. I'll keep coming down. Here we go. And I hope you appreciate this video. This is a pain in the neck to shoot by yourself, but there's nobody else here. I'm going to go down for 850 and see what we got. Bars are spinning at 850, so I'm going to go up to 830 and see if they stop spinning. Make sure I didn't overstroke it. That's good. Let's go down to 880. At this time, I am satisfied that the bars in the back of the machine will come out. 2. Those 2 bars removed, this machine is ready to find the home position. Let's go back around the front and home the machine. I've just removed the pins at minus 880. Minus 890 would have probably allowed the back pin to release easier. Since the weight is 2 pins, when you pull one, it may shift and bind the other one. So keep the 2 guys on this job. Keep 1 guy in the back. Don't overstroke that number. I'm going to go back up to the 0 position now by turning the hand wheel on the monitor area clockwise. Going back to 0. This is where the machine turned on. I know for a fact that when it was locked at around 8.5. So I'm going to go up to 8.5, and we're going to look for the Z-axis home position indicator on the head. Let's go up to around 8.5 and see what happens. We're going inside the machine for this one. The Z-axis indicator on the spindle or on the head is located in the back. I'll zoom in on that little sucker. The little plate in the center of the frame has a line scribed into it and is preset to the 0 position for the Z-axis. I'm going to raise the head until that line shows up. Ideally, you want that line perfectly aligned with the bottom of the casting. Okay, there's the line right there. This is the cast surface that you want, even with that line. I'm going to bring it down until it's right on the money. I'm going to call that good, right there. And the monitor is calling out at 8.550. Okay, 8.550 from where it was locked. Starting at the 8.550 location from aligning the head, I'm going to kill the power now. Again, turn it completely off. Just shut it down. When you're doing that, just pull this lever down. Simple. Okay. When it starts back up, the jog position on the front of the machine should go back to 0. Let it sit for a second. Turn it back on. And when you do it, don't forget to hit that green button again. Hit it and hold it for 4 seconds, at least. 1001, 1002, 1003, 1004. You should get a little welcome screen up here. This indicates that everything is good to go. Hit manual a couple times. Okay, that button right there. And when it says enter next command, I press that manual button twice. Right now it says enter next command. I'm going to hit CS. CS. Enter. Right now the machine is moving by itself and recalibrating its 0 home position. Z is good. Y down the bottom is good. There we go. Come on, boys. There we go. That's the Y indicator here. X indicator here. I hit manual one more time. It's going to change the screen. We now have X, Y, and Z. Everything is 0. The machine is home. It is unlocked. It is ready to go. The home position indicators on this machine are located right here in the front. This is the X-axis home position indicator. The Y-axis indicator is right here on the side. Line up the little hash marks, and the Z-axis indicator is back here. Checking the oil on the machine is something you should do every morning. Around the back of the machine, there's an oil reservoir right here on the back of the machine. And that is the sight glass to tell you how much oil is in the machine. If you are running low. This little cap right here. There's a spring-loaded cap. Get yourself a funnel. Stick a funnel in there and fill it. Now, with any kind of luck, and I will make every effort to make sure the machine transport in this manner, the door leaving this facility is 8 feet 4 inches tall to the bottom of the roller. And as you can see, some of this goodness up top is a little bit taller. I know when this machine was delivered that the Z-axis servo motor was removed, and this little cat track up here was manipulated in such a manner so that it would clear the door. Naturally, when the head goes down, the cat track will get lower, but the motor won't change its height. So the motor may be removed and secured to the top of the machine when the machine arrives. There are 4 bolts and 2 connectors at the top to reconnect, and it is very intuitive. We will make every effort to make sure that motor is reconnected before this machine leaves this facility. That's all it takes to start it up. Good luck.